republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good, Steve.
Call meeting to order. Have a roll call, please.
Trustee Drake? Trustee Drake? Trustee Roy?
Here.
Trustee Williams?
Here. Public concerns. Concerns, public?
Is that
Sure.
my turn?
We should
Sure.
see your husband.
All right, well, we gave you the proposal and the letter from us, and I would just like to give you some background. Sam Muna of Captain Visger's house and her assistant, Amy Welpley, came to us with this proposal for this event, a harvest ball, so to speak, dinner and dancing in September, and that she would like to have it placed at the pavilion. And we looked at the concept, and we would like to pursue it if possible. And it's a community, it's for community and by community project. She wants to involve students from school and from Hearts for Youth and other youth groups, and maybe even some culinary arts people for the food preparation, that type of thing. It's dinner and dancing is the bottom line. Be 6 to 10, but we would need the pavilion for our use.
When is it?
September, well, we gave you 2 dates.
September 15th for the
and then a
rain date of the
date
22nd next year.
And this is only painted with a broad brush right at the moment because we haven't gotten into details, but we can't go forward unless we, of course, get permission to use it.
Actually, I was supposed to read that in correspondence that I haven't got to yet. That's why everybody's got that puzzled look on their face.
Should have had John come up and finish it.
Okay.
Free sale.
This is for our benefit. This is for our benefit.
Sorry.
Discussion or what? Would you like to? Sure.
Let Lisa look at it, I guess.
You probably go along with it.
I make a motion that we allow the Historical Society to do a fundraising event September
15th
15th,
or the 22nd,
2012.
2012.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gary, second by Danielle, to authorize the Historical Society to use the pavilion for their fundraiser September 13th or 22nd, depending on the weather, 2012. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
15?
15th?
Yeah.
15th, 13th, it's all the same. Whenever you want to do it, you've got it.
And thank you very much. When we know more, we'll give you more definite details. That's fine.
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Glad to work with you. Anybody else? Public concerns? Correspondence, I don't have to do because we just did it. Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Make the motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Motion by Halitha.
I second it.
Good, because you were going in here. Second by Gary to approve the minutes of the last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to pay the bills, abstract number 11.
Make a motion to pay the bills, abstract number 11.
Second.
Motion by Danielle, second by Halitha to pay the bills, abstract number 11. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to pay the payroll.
Make a motion to pay the payroll.
A second.
Motion by Gary, second by Danielle to pay the payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Trustee reports.
I don't have any.
I don't doubt it. No one's golfing going on, is there?
No.
All
Very
right.
quiet up there.
All right, I'll leave you alone then.
Okay.
Gary,
I don't have much.
a lot of work with Doc going on or not?
Not really, but we had a tree next to the old chamber building that was sitting on the roof of two merchants.
Yep.
And we hired JoJo Gizzy to take the tree limbs off the building and then drop the tree, and then our guys cut it up and hauled it away. That's about the only excitement we had.
What did we do with the tree down at the pavilion? Anything?
Tree at the pavilion, we decided to take that down at that last meeting. 'Cause it was
The tree at the pavilion, we were waiting, because when that came in, the 3 quotes came in as a package deal for the one over there, which we were gonna get a hold of 9 on. So if we're not gonna do it that way, then I gotta ask those guys if they'll hold to their price, because they give me a 2-tree price. If we're not gonna do that one, I'll call them and say, are you gonna come here for the 1 tree? Okay? When I asked the people to come, I priced both trees together, that's why you got the price.
Did anybody go down and measure if that tree on Crosman Street Extension is our tree?
That tree on Crosman Street, I think Sharon and I decided, we got the width of the road one time, and that width of that road goes back a long ways. It's both sides, both ways.
Well, yeah, it goes over into their parking lot.
Our storm drains and all our stuff is under, our water lines and everything are underneath that tree. The water lines are right across the Edgewood,
Right.
the village water line. That's under that tree, so I would say it's ours. It's in between the sidewalk and curb. Usually anything in between the sidewalk and curb, we take care of.
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you besides that. I mean, if you want to get a specific measurement of the road, you probably have to have it surveyed. Who knows if the road's in the right spot?
Terry,
Yeah.
the arborist guy from Niagara Mohawk or National Grid,
Mhm.
the guy I know was gonna get a hold of him and have him get a hold of me, but he was hunting for a few weeks, so hopefully.
Which isn't a big deal, because tree guys don't care what time of year they cut trees.
Right. All right, we just need to get that taken care of. So, as soon as he gets done hunting, maybe we can,
He's probably done. He's probably just been busy, you
all right, let's try to get a hold of him.
know? Okay,
That all you got, Gary?
that's it.
Danielle?
I have a few things. At the water department, water turn-offs have been done, and Gary Hogan passed his D license, which is the equivalent of a distribution license. At the library, they're getting ready to have their craft show, which is December 3rd, from 10 to 4:30. And they're doing Festival of Lights, which the village is going to be a part of. I don't know if we're going to have time now, but you decorate a tree, take it there. People buy tickets on it. It will benefit whatever, like the Alley Cat Rescue has a tree there. So if you buy tickets for their tree, all the proceeds go to Alley Cat Rescue. And then they draw the raffle at the craft show, and you get to take that actual tree with the decorations. And that's December 3rd from 10 to 4:30. And I got an email today from a friend of mine who works for Homeland Security, and I'll just kind of read briefly what it is and see if anybody wants to participate. I think it's a really great thing. He was writing in hopes that I would know of schools that may have an interest in hosting a class. There's no cost associated to having this class, and what it is crisis management for school-based incidents, partnering rural law enforcement and the local school systems. There's a whole broad spectrum of topics covered. It's absolutely free. They come in, they teach the course. They can even involve other school districts. And some of the things covered are historical review of school-based incidents, vulnerability assessments, threat assessment management, parent reunification, proposed security roles and responsibilities of school and law enforcement personnel, incident diffusing and debriefing, training tools and resources. And it's a government program. They come, they pay for everything. It's just free training. So if everybody thinks that's a good idea, I can set that up for sometime in the beginning of January. If somebody wants to look at it. It's free through Homeland Security. I have the whole course outline of exactly what they do and what they teach. But it's basically an emergency action plan. So, and it happens all over the place. Just in Messina not too long ago, there was a shooting. I think it was a couple weeks ago. So I think it'd be a good tool for us to
I
be a
think we
part
should
of.
get, see if anybody in the fire department's interested in getting involved with that.
Well, and that's what he said, fire department, law enforcement, school administrators, and the class actually should have 20 to 40 people in it, so if we wanted to involve another district, say Clayton or Bardville, or
How long's the class?
It's through Homeland Security. I believe the gentleman's name is Mike. I could be wrong.
How long is it?
I don't know. I didn't get very much. I just got brief information to see if we were interested at all, and if we are, I'm sure I can get duration 1 hour. But that might just be the see, and then there's a 1.2, yeah. So if you want to look through this, and someone from the fire department want to look through it and see if it was anything that we were interested in. And,
Police department might want to get some people involved in that too.
Yeah. And that's all I have. Yes.
Police report from October 10th to November 22nd, a little bit longer stretch. We had 55 calls and complaints. We had 3 arrests, 8 vehicle stops with 4 tickets issued, 6 church traffic details, 4 court security details. We had 4 assists to other agencies. 2009 was driven 1,268 miles. The 2006 was driven 1,623 miles. The 99 was driven 18 miles. Dog control report had 3 dog complaints, 1 warning issued, and 4 citations issued. Report submitted by Chief Mullany. Old business. Oil tank for the DPW building. Greg, this is to get rid of the tank that's in the ground,
No, that's just to put a new tank in the building. You're gonna have
but
to.
the new
Yes.
tank in the
To
building
replace-
is to
that will replace that tank.
replace the one that's in the ground.
Yes.
We got 3 quotes. Bach is 5,200. G&B Enterprise, 1985.20. Millets, 25.29. That's a 400 gallon. That's actually a 475 gallon double wall stainless steel tank.
It's an aluminum tank with a powder line in it. It's $1 million, has $1 million spill policy on it. You don't have to put a containment underneath it. That's what the raw tank is. That's what they quoted.
Okay.
This is what we just put in the water plant. We put the same exact one in the water plant.
Are they all bidding on the same thing?
What I actually, Rocks don't sell Ross, and they'd rather deal with their own double wall tanks, like they have their hopper tanks, like you see outside the buildings, and that's what they wanted to quote on. I told them that the other 2 would be going on the Rock tank.
So all of them are bidding on the same thing?
Yes, all on the same inside tank, yes.
Okay.
Do we have money for that?
That would come out of DPW, we would be okay with
I got money in there?
And we have to without something else.
that.
But they need the
What do you
tank.
think?
That's to save us a headache.
Pardon me?
That's to save us a headache, because we'll pump the other tank that's in the ground dry. That tank's, the tank that's in the ground is 7 years past its life expectancy.
So that starts leaking, it's really gonna cost us money.
So, if we get the stuff, they just like to see the stuff out.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Does that have to come out at some time, Greg? The tank in the
Yeah,
ground?
and it's not a, the DPW is a registered building. No, we don't have any other registered buildings because we don't have anything in the ground. And the only reason we're registered because we had gas tanks in the ground at the time, and that's why we're still registered because of that. Is heating fuel as bad as gas? No. That's what he said. He said, you're past your expectancy, you don't stick, there's no way to really tell what you're in your tank and what you're losing. And he said, does he feel you're losing any? He don't know. But he said the sooner we could get it out of there, we wouldn't have to worry, you know what I mean? Is he telling us we have to take that out right this minute? Absolutely not. This is just a suggestion. He said it would be a good step in the right direction when we get the letter. We'll be receiving a letter from the DPW.
Is that the only tank in the ground down there?
Down at the DPW, yes.
Do we have a cost on getting that tank out yet?
We won't, I'll put that in the budget. That'll be in this
So
budget.
you don't have any prices on it yet?
No,
So it's gonna have to
I'm
be-
priced to get it out of there. That's 1,000 gallons, so we'll be pumping out of that for a while. We'll be running out of that until we run the fuel out of that into the building.
So we're gonna have to put that in next year's budget to get that tank out of there.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
I got one.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna put it in the fitting building or in the?
No, we'll put it right in the barn. We're gonna take, it's 30-some inches wide, we're gonna put it right on the far side of the bathhouse, right where the bathroom is. We're gonna cut the bench off, put it right there, and this will all be inside, so you don't have to burn kerosene. It'll be strictly number 2 heating fuel. Which these tanks will completely legal inside.
And everybody had the same specs? Everybody?
No, they're different sizes.
They're actually,
400, one's 475.
they're 400s, that 475 is a misprint.
There's one that says 500 too.
That's
a
box.
misprint?
That's
Yeah.
box,
Oh,
that's a
That's fine.
steel.
And
Gotcha.
they won't deal with that tank.
They would, but it's not something they do. They just do their double wall tanks. Their double wall tanks, what their double walls are, is they have a tank inside of a tank, like our fuel tank, outside our hopper tanks, like the school has. It has a tank inside a tank. It's a steel tank. That's the company they deal with, and that's what they put it. Theirs is a round tank, and the other one's a square one. We have much more room for a square tank than a rectangular tank inside the bathroom. Which the square tank will fit right where we want it to go.
Yep.
I move that we accept the lowest price proposal for the tank.
Got a motion by Aletha to accept the bid from G&B Enterprises for 1985-20 for the double wall rock 400-gallon fuel tank for the DPW building.
Second.
Second by Gary. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next item, James Street Road repair, dock repair. Where do we stand with that one?
Just got my second quote today. After how many months? I got the
Slow
second,
coming,
I
yeah.
got the second one today, and the third one is guaranteed me in the next board meeting. So, I'll probably have 4 or 5. I got a couple other people that are interested. Hopefully, I've got 4, at least 4, maybe 5.
All right, so we're going to table that until the next meeting.
The gentleman that actually, the second one is, he looked at the dock too, also when he was there, so he sent a quote for replacing the dock also, so it's popping up all in the separate. So we want to look at that and look at that, get it, pretty nice project.
Okay. Next item, Riverwalk project.
I don't really have anything to talk about, but we just had a reintroduction kind of meeting where the engineering and landscape architect came and kind of went through the whole project from start to finish and where we are and then we intend to start. Unless some other thing else, we go out and report on it. I did have a discussion with Dan tonight about the resolution that we need prepared. So I explained to him that when I spoke to you, that maybe to really premature to do the right away.
We talked to DOT people, they certainly did.
Right, so, well, and that's what I discussed with him, so maybe I should just put the two of you in touch?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I can get you his number later then, but other than that, that's all that's going on.
And they were looking at having a public meeting mid-December?
Yes.
Okay. 'Cause we really need to get more of the public in here.
Although that wasn't bad, the number that turned
It
out.
wasn't bad, but I'd like to see,
We'd like to see K there. We'd like to see K there.
I'd like to see
I was
100%.
there, Jim was there, the public were clacking one.
And we need to get the Riverwalk committee back.
Who's on that?
And attending, Karen, is it Peters or Peterson? Peters,
Russell's on it.
Russell on it,
Mr. Imdad,
Craig Garlott.
Jim Cummings.
Oh, I was on it. That's what I was wondering. I couldn't
I
remember.
have a list somewhere. I think there were 7 or 8 people
No, not me.
on it.
She doesn't want to be on it. Well, she should. Let's hold her
We
hostage.
need to try to get more people involved in that next public meeting. All right, next item, back 9 rec trail. We have a gathering on that. Mr. Jarvis, you're involved in that. Somewhat,
Everybody was there.
I guess.
Everybody up there.
Yeah, we talked about trying to keep that project a little bit on the natural side, not going with the stone trail to cut some expenses. We do have to get up there and fill some of the ruts so people don't break an ankle.
Mr. Weaver was going to do that. Go around and mark the low spots.
Yep.
Mark the low spots so it's not so wet when people try to walk through it. Mr. Millett went around and marked the perimeter of the property with posted signs so that four-wheelers and hunting on the property.
Yep.
Basically, it was another public open meeting to get ideas as to what the public really wants, what we should have, what will cut expenses and make it, like you said, as natural as possible.
Right.
It's going to be approximately, 6 to 8 foot wide as it is right now. And just, whether we have benches, picnic areas, garbage, no garbage, take it in, take it out.
Yeah, we decided no on the putting garbage cans out there. People carry it in, they got to carry it out.
Exactly.
And we got to get some proper signage up there so that people know that.
We're going to set up another public meeting so that
We talked about possibly some picnic tables and some grills at the parking area, but we decided to cut that too.
Yeah, because if you have it there, they'll be bringing more in than they'll be taking out.
So I think we want to keep it as strictly a walking trail.
Another concern was after dawn or after dusk and the parking lot and people using that for a hangout area.
We're going to put a gate or something across the driveway so they can be shut down in the evening, dusk. So, basically just a little bit of brainstorming is what we did. See where we want to go with it. Right?
Does anybody use it?
Yeah.
Right?
There's a couple people that live down on Carnegie Bay Road that walk it every day.
My wife goes out there once a week or so anyway. She's here, Brent. Yeah.
Right. Basically what we're trying to do, we've got $198,000 for this project, or we're responsible for 25% of that. The town is responsible for 25%, and the state's giving us 50%. Well, we don't want to spend the whole $198,000. We want to keep the cost down and just keep it basic, keep it simple, keep it natural, and get the project over with. Right?
Yes.
That's where we're at with that. Zoning update.
There is no zoning update because the committee is still not met. Well, there really isn't a committee anymore because I don't think too many people believe in that the zoning needs to be changed. So we have not met for quite some time, and as I explained, I think in the last meeting, until the new board is formed and we decide what we want to do, we're not going to move forward with it.
Okay. That was quick.
Perfect.
Next item, the consent order status. Mr. Drake and I met with Gregor Smith from Bernier and Carr and the person that took over for the DEC on the consent order. And it was a good meeting. They basically told us that we've done a lot of repairs to our system. We're not getting the flow numbers that we used to get with the storms. And he felt very strong that when we get done with the Catherine Avenue project, which should be starting next spring, once that project is completed, there's a pretty good chance he's going to recommend that the consent order be closed out, which means people will be able to do expansion in the village if they want to. We can get back to normal business. And that was my main concern, was to get him to commit to closing out that consent order once Catherine Avenue is done. And it looks like it's going to happen. So that's a good thing for us. And you're going to meet them again?
Hopefully next week, towards the end of next week, Gregor wanted to meet.
So he can bring you up to speed on everything. All right. Next item, Shane Circle. Here we go. Carol, you ready?
Ready.
Mark, you want to take the lead, or?
I can.
All right.
I met with the surveyors back in October to go over what they've done, and they've done quite a bit of title research and other things which they shared with me. I went over, I gave you guys a report. The easiest way to do it is to show it on the map, but I don't know if you folks want to come over and you can do that.
Explain what
Up with your twin.
I mean, is there a road here? Or?
This is just the tax map. It's right up over here. All right. So here you see Chain Circle is this area. It's very clear from the title work that coming in this way is all privately owned. The property lines abut each other. It's not described as a road or anything else. This is all private this way. This area down here, where it shows a 16-foot wide area coming off of Walton Street, the property lines on either side go to the edge of what is described as a right-of-way. All right, and that leaves the 16-foot in here. There is no title information that can be found as to who owns the 16 feet. Okay? All right, so that's what the surveying and the title work has shown. So where does that leave us? Where it leaves us is there isn't much that can be done up here, but down here, it all depends on what the interpretation of the 16 feet is. To try to get at that a little bit, we look at what the history has been. And based on the history I've been told, and realize I'm not here every day like you are, okay, but based on the history that I've been told, the town or the village has not really done a whole lot with that in the last 30 years or so, I think, from what Greg has told
It's
me.
been on and off, like, we plowed it back in the 70s.
But nothing to maintain it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But we used to, if you remember, Carol, we used to drive back to Sandra up the hill.
Exactly.
And we haven't done that in years because we can't back our Sandra up that hill the way,
It
the
won't.
shape it's in. anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
And then-
fit. They got bigger equipment.
Bigger
newer
equipment, yeah.
And they just
Yeah.
couldn't come up there.
This
And it's
is-
only 16 feet, which isn't a lot,
Right.
especially if you're stacking snow and things. So
They can come up with a small truck, but not the
Maybe-
big sander.
maybe so.
Yeah, they have done that.
The real question I have, just being maybe overly technical as an attorney, is whether this is a public right-of-way or a private right-of-way. All right, it's described as a right-of-way in the deeds. All right, but it doesn't say whether it's public or private. So is it for just the neighboring properties, or is it for everybody? It's ill-defined. The words and the deeds, the old deeds, aren't terribly helpful on it. So I think it really is, at this point, it goes back a little bit to the owners, and it goes back to the village a little bit to decide what they want to do there. If the village is going to take over that, I mean, we need to know, are we going to have problems with the neighboring owners if we do? The theory that it's not public, it's private right away. If we don't, and the village can therefore, assume some maintenance of that, that's fine, but then the village has to be committed to doing the maintenance on it, which means the village has to be committed to doing the improvements, to keep it safe, to keep it open, et cetera. All right? So all of those things are issues that I can't give you an absolute answer on as an attorney, other than to say that's what the research shows. Okay?
Well, over the years, it's been like a public right-of-way through there. I mean, different,
Have all the people up here have used it? Yeah.
See,
Does
the
the
people
public
on
u-
Walton Street, too, see,
on this side?
that they border Chain Circle. There's, let's see, Catherine is, we're 8, she's 6. She must be here. That's over on Walton, actually, behind my house. And these people on Walton, there's a couple of them that, Frank himself has to come up through here to access the back of his house. This gentleman that built on Walton Street, his garage
Harry
borders Chain Circle.
Okay.
So he, of course, comes up there. My brother, who's on Walton Street, he also comes up there and parks and unloads and whatever. So it's always been sort of a public right away.
Well, the public has used it that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
Well, can you loop around like you used to? in the
Oh, yeah,
old
you
days?
can still go
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go all the way and go
Oh,
out
yeah,
and walk.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Oh,
ambulance had to come up there recently, and they came up this way to Harry's house on, actually Walton Street, to go in the back door and go right back out. So they go right up
But
around.
this section here is very clear, it's privately
Private,
owned. All right, so I mean, if there is a right-of-way being used there, it's something that's just happened over time with the consent or,
Right.
of the people who live there. And what rights that gives the people to continue to use it is, sort of a different issue than the village has. The only thing I think, that the only place where the village really has the ability to do something potentially is on this piece here, and even then, we have to try to make sure we aren't going to run into problems with neighbors, and the village
Yeah, like
has to know if they're
he's
committed to
used that
doing
for
it.
years, Frank Vargo,
And that's what I understood.
Yeah.
He keeps it open in the winter, I think, doesn't
Yes.
he? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was about picking up trash and recyclables.
Well,
Well,
that's
it is
part of
once
it.
you get the ownership, like, or
Well, the
whatever.
question is, if we don't have if we as a village don't have a right to use this, then we're picking up here, or we're picking up here. I think everybody would like us to pick up here.
Well, see, the thing of it is, with these people, they have no place to put it down there.
Right.
There's no place on Walton Street.
Well, they don't have any place at all to do it on Walton, because they
No.
don't have any frontage on Walton.
Exactly.
This
And
one
to
doesn't.
bring
This
it
one has a
down-
little piece that comes out.
Yeah, this fellow here puts his right out at the edge of the road.
Yeah.
But my sister
Is
is
she
over.
this one?
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's 6. We're 8.
Yeah.
And if they just could come to the end here of the road like they used to, But as far as bringing it down to Walton Street, it's like, whose property are you going to put it on?
Well, that's true.
You're not supposed to put your garbage on somebody else's property, right?
Well, true enough. I'm sure your neighbors would prefer that.
Especially if the dogs get in it.
Well, yeah.
Maybe our board could just think of being nice, like we go to the islands, we get a boat.
Yeah,
go
what
to
is
the islands
the,
and pick up
um,
there. Why couldn't we just swing around here? That sounds pretty simple.
What is the reason we pick up at the islands?
Because we want to be nice, that's.
No, I mean, what?
Because they pay
taxes?
taxes and they don't get anything. That's all.
Well,
They
well,
pay
so
We
what-
got the
what are
same
they
day.
getting? What's the difference here?
Well, we have a
Just-
public way to get there, whether it's a
Right.
road or water,
That's all it is.
and we don't have a public way to get back to here.
If we had a way to get there, we'd drive right down through there, but we don't own it. That's what we're saying. We can't.
Well, it's been a public right-of-way for years and years, as far as ever I've known it.
I agree, but
Sometimes
what
you
happened
gotta
was.
be nice people, Gregory.
No. Kay, listen for a second, would you, please?
No, I've heard this probably how many times we go. to
What we
this-
did, and I know this has turned into a family deal, and us not being right or wrong. Critter and I went up today, and we were stopped right here.
By Frank?
Yes,
and that's
because
the
he
whole
owns-
problem.
Because he owns that road.
That's
He
what
owns
he's
from
claiming.
land to land, so you can't get across it.
Well, that's what he's saying, but that's not what
It's
the
a
deed
public
says.
right-of-way.
Right. It's,
It has been for,
He owns up to the 16 feet.
Actually, Frank
no,
Barco don't own
I mean,
anything.
no, I mean this
You
stretch
mean over
across.
here?
Right. This is where we got stopped. We didn't, when we went to turn the corner to go down towards Catherine's,
That's what he stopped.
he and I went up, and that's when he stopped us, and all it was a problem with what had happened on the street. It wasn't nothing to do with Critter and I, it was a problem with something that happened on this street, and they don't, he owns from piece to piece. This
he
is it.
owns one little piece there, and Catherine owns a piece. But everybody has a right-of-way that
You do have
lives
in
in
your deeds?
Change. Yes, I do.
The deed of
I
everything.
have a right-of-way for
We didn't know
Walton
that.
Street,
We
both
don't know
Walton
that.
Streets. Yeah, and I showed them to Frank.
Could you just come
And I
up-
also have a right-of-way across
Take
the
out this
back.
property and don't do anything for Frank, just use this one.
That is, Frank cuts this off, okay, right here.
Right
Well,
there.
Catherine is on the other side of Frank.
I didn't say loop around, I just said go up here and come back out, forget Frank altogether, and let him handle his own junk.
Well, anyway,
But what we were saying is if we plowed, it was nice when you could go around, but if you can't go around, you can't go around, you know what I'm saying? And that was the only thing.
Yeah.
If we could drive up over Chain Circle and go around the corner like we have been, that was fine and dandy, we never had a problem with that.
okay,
But the thing is we don't own anything down through here.
right.
That's all we were
It's
saying.
privately owned,
Right.
but it's been a public right-of-way. And like I said, in my deed, I also have a right-of-way across the back.
I understand you say it's a public right-of-way.
Oh,
Your
well-
deed says it's a private right-of-way for the people that border it.
Right. See, this Mr. Chain built all these houses, and it was a family affair.
He could have done a better job with this right-of-way.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
that's hindsight, you know, I mean,
Right.
It's just a few. it's
Well, the
a few
guys
things.
were walking up and picking up her trash
yeah.
until they were ordered not to do it anymore. And they did not have to go on Frank Barber's property to do it.
No, they could stay over here.
Absolutely. They were not anywhere near his property. They were right here by her.
Yeah.
And now they won't do it anymore.
There's a little piece between her and the road over here, huh?
Well, she owns right up to the road because we've done her deed, I don't know how many times, or her tax map.
She's got
And,
this little 6.1 is her too?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hers.
It's kind of steep here though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we're gonna do.
Well,
Here's what we're gonna do.
That's what my research shows.
okay, good now. Good now.
And I think this was my recommendation a couple months ago when I was talking with Carol. I'm going to recommend that anybody up there in Shane Circle, if they bring their trash to the end of that right-of-way, which is right where that telephone pole is on the corner, right?
Right where the motel is, that's what we talked about.
Okay? The blacktop goes right up, there's a telephone pole right on that corner where it turns. Okay? That right-of-way, whether it's public, private, whatever, when people bring their trash and recyclables up to the end of that right-of-way, we'll come up and get it.
I thought you said that Frank wouldn't let him on their property.
It's
We
not
can
on
go to
Frank's
the, we can
property.
go straight up the hill. We can go right to the end of the motel, straight up the
We
hill.
go straight
You
up
can't
that
make the
blacktop.
corner. That's the only.
That blacktop is the right-of-way. We will go right up to the end of that, and we will pick up the trash at the very end of that, right, Craig?
That's what you tell me to do, that's what we'll do.
That's what I thought. So, Carol? Okay?
Well, she's here representing Catherine tonight, so.
I
She
mean,
would just, yeah. It's,
that's as close as we can get
Yeah, well, that's,
without going across private property.
but to tell her she had to take it down to Walton Street was a little bit ridiculous.
We're not doing that.
I mean, I know somebody that got summoned because they said, well, they brought their trash in from somewhere else and put it on the property.
Well, you can't bring trash in from.
Right,
you know.
exactly, but that didn't happen, but
That's-
because somebody said it.
That's what we're gonna start, that's what we're gonna do starting next
Okay,
week.
she has to bring it over to that telephone pole, because we have a rental now in there too.
Remember the
So
one-
we'll tell him to bring it up.
Do me a favor, you know the one right beside the motel, right up front where number one unit is?
Yeah.
That's where, we always put it there because, that's where we got stopped, right there at the corner, right there is where he turns, right there.
Okay.
So right there on the blacktop there, it's not a.
Are you going to plow chain circle on the private right of way?
On the, if they decide that they want it plowed, I don't.
It's
Then
it's
it's
private property. If we start plowing private property,
Well, you have been right along. I was just wondering if you're gonna this year or not. I have a tenant and they have to get in and out. They have a kid that goes to school and they gotta get in and out of there. We gotta figure out something, so I just wanna know if I've gotta hire somebody or what's gonna happen. It's been kept open in the past because it was a fire lane, so the ambulance could get up in there and whatever.
but is it the legal fire lane?
But I don't know if it's a legal fire
It
lane.
didn't say that in the deed research that I saw. I mean, it describes it as a private right of way, but he describes it as a fire lane.
But somebody, who put the fire lane signs up there? One time, The there was village. fire lane signs.
We put
sure
the,
Bill
we put the
Barker
fire,
was on the board.
where it all went back to was we put the fire lane signs up there because you had people that would go up and park in the middle of the road and nobody could get down through there, is what happened. So they asked to be changed to a fire lane. So the village went up and put fire lane road signs there so people wouldn't stay parked in the center of the road, is what it all went to. That was years ago when that happened, I believe, quite a
And
few.
the ambulance had called up there, quite a few times, and it's gotta be kept open. So either we're gonna have to all get together and pay to hire somebody, or, I mean, it just can't
Well,
be,
if
by
we-
guessing by golly, it's one day they do it, the next
If
day
we
they
go to the
don't.
ambulance, so we have to come back out the same way. We can't go down over there.
They just did. They've done it twice.
Over the rock cliff?
Yep.
Yeah, they went right down through and right out.
Good.
And they've had big trucks up there delivering, the oil man comes up and goes down that way, and the ambulance, yeah, because they came up the other side and then down over the hills.
I think the only way we could keep that open is if we got a written authorization from each of the property owners to go across their property. Right, Mark? Is that,
But it would help, yeah.
it would take a little bit of pressure off us.
Mhm. So that would be Frank and Catherine,
Yeah.
because I'm in back, I don't own chain circle. Well,
It's gonna be snowing here pretty quick, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
yeah.
Did we ever look to see if it was officially designated a fire
You
lane?
know, it's-
They claimed when Vargo was on the board before that the village designated that as a fire lane.
But it
That's what it
wasn't
is in the
legal though.
code.
Oh, it
That's
was
saying-
legal.
It was just done.
Oh, okay. Make believe that.
Some people think you put a sign up, it's legal.
Oh,
I think what we should do is see if we can get authorization from the property owners to plow it and see where we stand there.
Will you
Sure.
do that? Yeah.
Huh? Sharon, will you send a letter out to the property owners and see if we can get permission to go across their private property?
Good question.
Because if they won't let us, there's no sense in talking about it.
Right.
If you're gonna plow it, why wouldn't, if they get the letter of authorization to plow it, why wouldn't the village then pick up their garbage and recyclables?
You will, if you get a right of way, too, you're gonna have a right of way.
Right.
And then make it-
So right now.
I
right
got
now,
you,
we're
I got
just going to
you,
the
I
end
got
of
you,
the-
I
end of
got
the
you,
right of way.
I got you.
Okay? Step in the right direction?
I guess, yeah.
About as far as we can go today. Anybody else have anything under old business? New business. We need a resolution to create another MEO position for the DPW.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alika. Second by Danielle. To create another MEO position for the DPW. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Need a motion to hire Robert Graveline as a full-time MEO. DPW.
Motion.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Belita. All in favor? Opposed?
Was this you just created, or is this an old one?
We had to create it to fill
We had
it.
to create it
This is the
so,
one you just created, and
Right.
it's gonna fill it.
Right.
Okay, it's not a...
because we need plow drivers.
No, I'm not complaining, I just wondered if you had another one open now.
No. Next item, we levy unpaid village taxes to the tune of $223,298.91. Need a motion to authorize us to levy the taxes.
So moved.
Motion by Alita.
Second.
Second by Gary. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. We're moving right through this one. Next item I've got, Bill Ryan, water sewer bill. Somebody fill me in on what this is.
Bill's meters broke, so we took the average and estimated his for the same time period over 3 years, and based his water bill on what his average was. No problem, so we thought it was high, because this year he did not fill a swimming pool. So,
Last year I filled it up 3 times. This year I was $2 off for the rain so much. So my bill went from the last time from $36, and my last bill was $137.75.
the bill before
That's
was
$101.
broke meter, which it was a minimal reading.
His readings over the last 3 years have been,
Right around 14, 15.
You must have a small meter, boy.
He's got a galvanized water line. We just put a new meter in, did before yesterday, and it probably won't last
Thursday, Friday,
a
Sunday.
couple weeks and it bugs again.
galvanized line, you must not get much water. Bill.
Huh?
You must not get much
He
water,
does,
do
because he's
you?
right next to the water tower.
I don't get enough, don't get that much water, why is my bill so high?
That's what happens to him though. I mean, we've had troubles with, we got 5 or 6 houses still left in the village with galvanized lines, and they're always on the broken list. I mean, you could keep replacing the body. As soon as you turn the water faucet on and off, you chuck a piece of rust loose and sort of stop it. But that's what happens to them.
Those people pay my sewer water bill.
How do we address it?
Gary's gonna check it in another couple of weeks, see what happens.
We put all brand new stuff in after
But if I'm not getting that much water, why is my bill so high?
So you average, that's the average?
We took a 3-year average and billed him 50 for that same billing cycle.
I came to pay it the other day, insurance said no.
Well, we said we put it on the agenda for him, rather, and we've got until December to pay it, so.
I said I'm gonna pay it on this protest.
Mine was big.
I think all of them were.
Mine was normal.
Mine was.
You guys
But that was
got to
because
quit
of
leaving the
the
water
idiots.
running.
But the last bill must have been broken too at 36.
Mine was higher.
Actually, when your bill's higher this month, it's your summer reading.
Yep,
Everybody don't get
all
it.
those flowers. Yep,
That's your summer reading.
absolutely. Petunia bill.
Oh, no wonder it was higher.
I've been around, I've been to 4 different houses today with older people that didn't understand that. As a matter of fact, I've never even paid attention to the bill. My wife pays the bill, and I was trying to do Mr. Kavanaugh's up the street. They couldn't figure theirs out because if you read the bill, it's got a PY on it. That's paid when you paid it the last time, and I didn't know it. I didn't even look at it. And it was PY, and I called Sharon. And when she paid the last day of August. So she thought that the meter was read in August, and it was only this. So she's, well, there's only 2 months on there, you know. And I said, well, let's try to figure it out. So we did the history and stuff. And hers was 2,000 less than what it was the summer before.
But people don't understand.
But they don't
that
understand
previous date
sometimes.
is actually the date they paid the bill, not the date that it was written. read the first, prior reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just doing my figure.
All right, so Bill's average, the last 3 years for this time period is what?
15,000 gallons.
That's his average.
His last bill.
What's his
was
average,
40%.
what's his average the rest of the year?
I didn't look at the average for the rest of the year, because we average out the quarter that we're working.
I know, but if he did not fill his pool,
Averaged it the last time.
Last time he got the minimum bill, $36. I don't think we averaged it, I just don't think, because I had Molly doing it and it was new to her when she put him in, and he got a minimum bill.
I need to know what his normal bill is. Can we get that?
So what do we do, every 3 months put a new meter on? Is that what you're gonna have to keep doing?
That's, basically.
I just wanted to know a reason. Greg gave me a reason last Friday, and I said, fine, but then he sent
How much the meter?
Gary up, changed the meter.
You put a new $90 meter on every 3 months.
No, I didn't say, I just wanted an explanation.
No, but I'm asking him how much they cost.
Well, here's
Yes,
what happens is we're going to, we've explained it to him, like, I know of 4 houses that I have the same problem. They're always on the list. And I mean, we can keep going changing just the body. I mean, all you change is the body. You don't change the face outside the reader every time you change the body because you got a piece of rust in it and the plug stops. Okay?
So you just keep.
It's actually a good thing for the customer to not change your water line because you're going to get
Yeah.
a minimum bill or a cheaper bill all the time. But, so that's why we went into the, years ago, we went through the same thing when there was a lot more than just the last few that have got it. We decided that we'd go back to the 3 times billing cycle of that same time period and estimate it from there. Okay? So if it breaks, like say it broke the last 3 months, not this 3 months, they went back into those 3 months and took a 3-year billing and estimated it off that. Are they the only ones? They're not the only ones that the meters put on. There's other ones the meters put on too that are estimated.
Well, I remember when my bill first went up high,
And I
and
came
he told me
with that.
because I had a new meter. And I came right here to the meeting and said, get everybody a new meter. Why should I be the only one in my neighborhood paying twice as much would pay the village to put them in?
Yeah, and I tried to explain to Carol.
Yeah, mine is way
Every
more
time I
than
change-
anybody else in my
Every
neighborhood.
time you change a meter, a new meter is 99.7 to 100% accurate. Ask Russell.
Yep.
Russell, did you not go through the
He's the same boat I am, right? He got
Okay.
a new meter too.
So Mr. Kavanaugh said to me, when his went up, and he used 13,000 for the summer, which isn't a lot for summer reading with your gardens and stuff. He says,
Thank you very much.
I want you to change my
Mine was
meter.
more than that.
I said, I'm going to explain to you this very well, that you're probably, your 80% meter right now is gonna go to 100%, and it's gonna be every drop. And it's hard to explain. We did the same exact thing, I think Letha was on with Jim Donegan, bought the 6-inch meter down to the river edge, and made me change the 6-inch meter, and we read it 3 months later, and it was $500,000 higher, and he
Yeah.
wanted the old meter, he wanted the old 6-inch.
My old one back there.
And we even had Badger Meter, I think Mark was here because we had Badger Meter come here and do a thing, and right with Mr. Donegan sitting right here saying, I'm telling you, sir, they don't slow down. They don't speed up, they slow down because the water gets by it. And we sat right here and explained it to him, and he bought the meter, he bought the new 6-inch meter, and he wanted to go back. That
I
was,
remember that.
that was when we had the lesson on it, you know, I mean, we brought the people in Wisconsin and tried to explain to everybody. They read faster, they'll be 100% the new ones.
So what you're saying is from the street valve to the meter inside the home, that line is the old
Yeah,
galvanized.
It's the old galvanized line, yes.
Great, explain it to me.
Yep.
He's the only one that did.
And what happens
I said,
usually,
fine.
like his, if we turn it, when you turn them off, you turn it off to change the meter,
The galvanized,
you turn the water off.
What was his bill?
I know, but what
the
you
galvanized goes
How much
to
was your
this.
bill?
137.
to this, we've tried it.
You turn it off and turn the water back on the meter spot. It's just a chunk of rust breaks loose. It's up in the meter within, it don't win right then, but within a week or two, it's gonna get back in, and it'll plug it up. It'll stop the paddles. Paddles don't spin, they oscillate like this, and the piece of rust will get up and jam in the side now.
Sharon told me, she says, your meter's been broke. But she didn't explain to me why. And when I saw Greg,
There's no
he was
filter.
on vacation, explained to me, it's okay.
There's a screen in it. There's a screen in meters, but it still gets by. It don't take much to plug a meter.
We got how many, 4 or 5 with galvanized lines yet?
I'd have to look, Caroline. We're down there, because Ernie Mance just did, or Paul Mance just did his, Mr. Seeley's over there, he just did his. Well, there's some that I haven't been in cellars in years. I think Mark Flynn still got it.
What would it take to put a filter in the line before the meter happened?
There's a filter, there is a screen in the meter.
Yeah, but I mean a filter, not a screen.
Filter? You could put a water filter in, they're gonna be changing it all the time though.
What's gonna happen?
If they just keep breaking,
That's what I'm saying, they're gonna be down there changing them. Is that?
It's the homeowner's responsibility to change that galvanized line from the supply in. That's what we did.
That's why we estimated for the 3 months. Because that forces the person to change the galvanized line.
Right.
Is what he does.
I cut a section that big off, and I held it to the sun, you couldn't see through it.
I went up to pay the bill.
'Cause it corkscrews.
When bringing up the floor, she said, okay.
What's the chances you're gonna put a new water line in, Bill?
I'll probably die first.
That's what I was afraid you'd say.
And pay the minimum, and pay the average.
So what can we do about that?
The only thing that
Not much in the ordinance.
we can't make them.
We actually pulled the plastic one out, put a brass one in, and we just changed another brass, and then we just put it out. How long ago did we change that one? That wasn't very long ago. 3
What's
months.
that?
Your meter? We changed it the last time?
That was a year ago. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a year, but it didn't last only about 1 reason. It might
See,
last.
this is one of those 15-minute discussions on a
Like I
$2
said,
topic.
after he explained it to me, I said, okay, fine, I'll pay.
Look at, Jibo's even looking at the clock.
Bring it up, whatever.
Still got litigation and personnel issues to go through yet.
I just have to deliver more chickens a day.
The only way you can.
Get a new water line, will you, you cheap bastard? Oh, all right. What's over with? All right. Let you guys hash this out. I'm going home, drink beer, cook a steak. Bye.